Welcome to the power of endless growth. Success in life comes as a result of continually stretching and growing. As you become the person that harmonizes with your desired goal, you will be more likely to achieve them. Remember, growth is a lifelong process. There is no end or destination.
You know, it's been said that when we're through learning, we're through. And that's literally true. We should be very self-diagnostic. When we have give a presentation in this business, for instance, we should never walk away from that presentation without taking a moment with a pencil in our hand to say, what did I do well, and what could I have improved on? Not to be self-doubting, not to be negative, not to try to beat back our enthusiasm, but because if your presentation 6 months from now isn't a lot better than the one today, then you're missing one of the most valuable components of this business, the ability to grow and build your capacities and your abilities through the exercise of these business activities that we do.
I think personal growth is the one of the major benefit from the network marketing. Yeah, you are not just doing the business and making friends, but in the process you grow yourself. You become more mature, you understand other people better, and you probably will building a bigger goal, bigger than you are, and to achieve your very enjoyable, wonderful life.
To me, a success formula is that you can use knowledge not just from yourself, but what people can tell you to help you in your business, that can help the downline. Again, you only know what you know, but if you know more, you're a far better person.
皆さんにね、今から15年前に僕がこの仕事をスタートさせた時、これから始められる方と全く同じでして、同じ道を皆様方は歩こうとしている。もし僕が成し遂げたことが、もし、すごいことを達成したんだなとみんながもし思うんであれば、間違いなく、道は続いているわけですから、この場所に来れることは誰でも来れるようにニュースキンはそのシステム、この道を作ってくれた。ただ今までたくさんの人たちが同じ道を歩きながらも、途中で挫折をして、道を外れてしまった人たちがたくさんいる。これは非常に残念なことで、僕はどちらかというとその、海でいうと灯台みたいなもんですが、まあガソリンスタンドみたいなもんかな、道路で言えば、そこに僕がいて、今までやってきたこと、そこによってもし道を間違えようとしてるんであれば、この道合ってるかどうかっていうのはいつでも僕証拠の一人ですよ、ここにいるんだよと。
I know of no other business on the planet that is more challenging in almost every respect, mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, even spiritually, than this business is. This business will test the limits of any person's capabilities and any person's attributes. And it is so important for people to recognize that they can't just come into the business thinking that they have the complete tool set. I don't care what a person's background is. You can take the most successful salesperson in any organization, the most successful realtor, the most successful insurance agent, the most successful whatever, and they're going to have to re-equip themselves to be successful in this business. And that re-equipping takes a lot of time and a lot of personal and self-development in every respect.
確かにね、基礎は大事だと思います。塾と同じくいろいろな勉強をしなければ全体が見えないと思うんですね。だから私たちももちろん製品の勉強から、ビジネスの仕方から、勉強できるチャンスがたくさんありますので、皆さんにお勉強してもらって一つ一つクリアしていくっていうか、まず勉強しないと伝え方もわからないし失敗が多くなると思うんですね。そういう意味ではいい環境にありますので、会社の方もいろいろサポートしてくれますから、勉強する場所っていうのは たくさんありますので、必ず勉強から始まってほしいなとはいつも思ってます。
You know, this whole New Skin experience has been a very uncomfortable one to me because I'm not by nature an outgoing person. If you'd have followed me around my elementary school days all the way through college, for that matter, you would have always seen me sitting on the back row of the class. You would have probably never seen me raise my hand to ask a question and thereby draw attention to myself. And then Blake came along and we end up in a business where this shy kid from the back row finds himself standing in front of tens of thousands of people all over the world, trying not to embarrass himself. It is a constant source of stress to my basic nature.
I recall one Halloween night, that holiday where children dress in costumes and, for some strange reason, which I've never totally understood, go door to door getting candy from the neighbors. Anyway, it was Halloween, and one particular house we knocked on was answered by this kind old man who had the largest container of candy I've ever seen. As we all gasped in amazement, he said something every child dreams of hearing. He said, "Fill up your bag if you'd like." As all of us children scrambled to thrust fistfuls of candy into our bags, one little boy seemed just a bit distraught over the whole ordeal, and the old man asked him what was wrong. The boy said, "I wish I'd brought a bigger bag." To which the man responded, "Next time you'll know." Let me take this moment to tell you that life is filled with joy for you, just ahead on your journey to success. So take a big bag. If you want more, then you must become more.
You see, you have to give yourself permission to succeed in life in whatever you do. I don't care what it is. You have to say, yes, it's okay for me to move forward now. And one of the other companies that I was in, there was a 29-year-old young man, very sharp, who was, I believe that company called it the Presidential Circle. It would be a position like our Team Elite. He's 29. My gosh, what does he know that I didn't know in my early 50s was my question. I asked, how did he do it? Who does he know? Where did he find the people? What did he say to them? How did he attract them? How did he get them to invest in the business? And I had these serious questions. And it was a painful time. It was a very painful time because of the doubts that I had. Why can't I? Who does he know? What books did he read? Well, I started reading books. I started going to seminars. I started praying a lot. I started believing, yes, I can.
You know, when somebody looks at the business and sees, you know, the challenges that are here and say to me, I don't think I can do that, my answer to them is, so what? Of course you can't do it today. A brain surgeon can't perform brain surgery in his first day of elementary school either. These are skills that can be acquired, and just because you can't do something today doesn't mean you can't do something. Life testifies to that truth everywhere. And so we ought not to be fearful to try new things simply because we're not masters of those new things already. And if we will simply get out and try, we can do amazing things simply through personal development.
I would say that as individuals, we're all looking to better ourselves, or if we're not, we should be. So with that in mind, how do you do that? You know, there's so many things that bombard us these days. You're going to become a better tennis player. You're going to become a better whatever. But part of it evolves around just becoming a better inside individual, developing traits and virtues that are within you that are not fully formed. How do you do that? Network marketing, this opportunity, will give you the tools to do that.
自分の成功を確信する、これはね、並大抵のことじゃないですね、本当はね。でもね、世界中の成功者が、どのようにそれをやってきたかっていう秘訣を一つ言うとしたら、小さい勝ち癖なんですよね。例えば普段だったらやらないだろうなって思うことに チャレンジしてみてください。例えば絶対挨拶しない人にね、挨拶してみる。例えば笑顔で対応してみる。そしたらどうですかね。ちょっと自分で思っていなかったような結果っていうのがね出ると思うんです。その結果をぜひね楽しんでみてください。それが自分にとって変化を作れたな。これすごく小さい勝ち癖なんですね。常に大きい勝ち癖っていうのは小さい勝ち癖の連続、その結果なんです。今日普通やらないなってことをねぜひやってください。
There's a story of one of our great distributors that will always be closer to my heart than I think any other story. She was a maid. She went around and cleaned people's houses, and someone introduced the business opportunity to her. She saw it, and she overcame her fears. She overcame any challenges she had, and she went out and she just did the fundamentals every single day. She wasn't an expert salesperson. For goodness sake, she'd been cleaning homes. She wasn't an expert MLM person. All she did was go out and talk to people about products that could improve their lives. Ultimately, she became one of our most successful distributors. And sadly, years later, her husband became ill and was bedridden for a long time. Because of this business, this great distributor was able to stay by the bedside of her husband every day, all day long, and hold his hand and be with him. When he finally passed away, I know that she had no regrets about the time she spent with him. And the reason she could spend this time with him is because she made a decision long ago to go out and share an amazing product and an amazing business opportunity with other people. And ultimately, it changed her life in a dramatic way that most of us will never experience. This is why I love Nu Skin, because Nu Skin helps improve people's lives. Again, your success will be in direct proportion to the person you become in all three areas: beliefs, knowledge and skills, and actions. Continually working on these three areas as they relate to your goals will yield high dividends. I love the idea that you can take a tiny little seed, plant it in the ground, nourish it, and what do you get in return? A huge tree.
One of the great virtues of our industry, of direct selling, is that anyone who comes in and tries it comes away a better person. But it's my studied belief, after doing this for decades now, that nobody ever comes in contact with one of these businesses without going away a better person, because they have been rubbing shoulders with people who are about a very noble act of creating something where there was nothing. I hope that every Nu Skin distributor looks around and sees that huge benefit to society that goes on within our business meetings as we elevate our personal skills and capacities together, irrespective of the checks that we may generate.
To be the best person you can be is really our goal in life. You know, we're given these bodies, this temperament, this whatever, and it's up to us to perfect it or to attempt to perfect it. And that comes with using the products. I, of course, I'm a proponent of exercise and making sure that you make that part of your physical side complete as well. Going to trainings, listening to people that have perhaps progressed more in the business will help you with your positive attitude side.
It's actually has been a little bit surprising to me how often I will be talking to our most successful leaders and hear them say how on a daily basis they go back to the same books that they read in the first place. They go back to the same tapes. They go back to the same lessons that they continually have to sharpen in their minds and in themselves to remind themselves really what it takes to be successful in this business.
누군가가 이런 말을 했습니다. 그가 지금 무슨 책을 읽고 있는가를 보면 그를 알 수 있다. 3년 후, 10년 후 어떤 사람이 될지는 어떤 책을 읽느냐가 중요한 요소로 결정될 것이다. 우리는 우리가 읽은 것으로 만들어진다. 지금 여러분이 보고 계신 것은 무엇이죠? 바로 그 석세스 포뮬라, 바로 성공 공식이라는 것입니다. 여러분은 지금 본 DVD를 보고 계시다는 것만으로도 미래 성공에 한 발 다가선 것입니다.
And one of the things I tell distributors is that, regardless of whether you succeed or fail in our business, because people will fail, that's just human nature. The end result is you will come out a better person because you will have learned some things, you will have learned to stand in front of another person and cogently share a message. You know what? Probably 95% of the population in our country couldn't do that today. If you asked them to share a message about what they're passionate about in front of another person or in front of a large audience, most people couldn't do that. You know what? And if you go away with that one skill, I promise you it will make you a better person just for the very fact that you have a positive attitude and people can tell it in the way that you share that message, the way that you look, the way you dress. All of those things change with a positive attitude.
Do you recall as a child when your teacher helped you plant a tiny seed in a white styrofoam cup and then sent you home with instructions on how to care for it? Well, recently one of my children came home with his little white cup, just as proud as he can be. He was excited to show it to me, and as I bent down to get a closer look, I said, "Son, that's just a cup of dirt." He giggled and he said, "No, it's not. It's a bean plant." I said, "Well, how do you know?" He said, "Because I planted it." I asked him when I was going to see this great bean, and he said, "It will take some time because I have to water it and let the sunshine stare at it for a few days." I then asked him if maybe, just maybe, it was going to grow an apple. He said, "No, silly." I said, "Maybe it'll grow a banana." He giggled again and said, "No, silly." I said, "How can you be so sure?" He said, "Because I planted a bean seed." What kind of seeds are you planting today? Are you watering them? Did you plant exactly what you hope to harvest in the future? You may even have people in your life who look at what you're doing and they think it's just a cup of dirt. But you, like my 5-year-old son, you know better because you planted it. The results you achieve in your life will be a direct result of your thoughts and your actions. Think, think, think. Act, act, act.
Back when I was single, I overheard somebody once say that you don't marry who you want, you marry who you are. And if you want to marry somebody who's bright and vivacious and positive about life, then you got to be that person, or else that person simply isn't going to be attracted to you. Likes attract. And so in one of the success principles that matters is that we need to become the kind of person that we want to attract. If we can look around us and see the kinds of people that tend to be successful in this business, and those are people with faith in their own capacities, who love other people, who enjoy being around other people, well, then you need to throw yourself into those environments and become that person. Talk the talk. Get the negativity out of your life and replace it with positive, affirming kinds of commentary in your own head and as you talk to other people. And as you do that, people who have that same life's view will tend to be attracted to you, and together you can do amazing things.
You won't be able to attract those positive, good, useful things in your life if you are filling your brain with junk. It will not happen. It can't happen.
Like we said in the beginning, success is a journey without end. There are no stations. There is no one place to arrive once and for all. So stop pacing the aisles and counting the miles. Instead, climb more mountains, eat more ice cream, watch more sunsets, laugh a little more, cry a little less. Life must be lived as we go along. Remember, you're only in competition with your best self. You're not competing against other people. So just do the best with what you've got.
I'd go back to our mission statement. It's to be a force for good by empowering people to improve their lives. It again starts with improving your own life, focusing on the things you can do better, and focusing on doing a little bit every day. We become who we are through a process over time, and become better by practicing those principles that are important to us and that we feel other people view as sincere and real.
In this business, if you think you know it all, you're going to go downhill.
This business is constantly changing, and you are constantly learning. You learn from everybody. There's something new out every month that you need to read about what it is about life that makes this business work better. Motivational books, tapes. If you can continually make yourself more educated and help yourself learn more good stories, because we're in a storytelling business, you're going to be able to share this with your downline and help them be more successful. Nobody walks into this knowing everything. In fact, we walked into this knowing nothing, and we did lots of things wrong. But we've learned that if we have an open mind, and we always know that we have never got it figured out, it is always going to change. You're going to be able to succeed in life.
Consistency of message is very important, and even for your own self-development, keep practicing at what you're doing. Don't get disappointed. Keep doing it over and over and over, and then it becomes natural. That consistency is very, very important.
You really can't help improve someone else unless you, first of all, a role model of improvement yourself. You have to, it's difficult to say, okay, walk this walk if you don't walk the walk. So in order to become a leader or to have leaders in your group, you need to be a leader before you can ever foster leadership. Or if you feel like you're missing some of those traits, go to your upline and try to figure out how to assume the virtue and then develop it in yourself. So there isn't a lot to give if you don't have anything to give. You have to develop all those things that you wish to see in others in yourself, and then you can instill it in others, and hopefully they can become a mirror reflection of your leadership abilities.
Life is about personal growth. The minute you stop growing is the minute you're dead. So if you apply that principle just to the business, you apply it to everything in life. This is just the opportunity to live to the most. And I remember saying one time that this business had given me the opportunity to live in an accelerated life. I felt that I had accumulated so many experiences that at the young age of 35, I felt like I had the experiences of a 90-year-old, because it was almost like living to the max. And of course, every day you want to increase in knowledge. One of my mentors, heroes, is Clint Eastwood. And I heard him recently in an interview. And they said, Clint, you've been nominated for 2 Academy Awards recently. You're over 80. And he says, what do you attribute your success? And his answer was clear. He said, I've made it my business to learn something new every day. That's living.
My dear friend and co-founder said in this video, when you're through learning, you're through. I believe that. I don't think we should ever stop trying to grow and improve ourselves. There's no final destination when it comes to knowledge. As long as we're growing, we're going somewhere. One of my favorite experiences in this business is seeing people whom I haven't seen in years and marveling at the progress they have made in their life and their business. It's always inspiring and humbling. You obviously feel the same way I do about self-improvement because you're watching this video and participating in the success formula. Bravo to you. At this very instant, you're stretching and growing as a person. Your individual worth is on the rise. Take a moment and in your workbook or any paper, write down 10 things you do well. These skills can be in your personal life as well as your business. Then write down 5 skills you want to acquire or improve upon. Then chase after the knowledge necessary to make those 5 skills part of your skill set. Enjoy the journey and quest for knowledge. I sure do. Rewatch this video often, and I will see you soon with the next ingredient in the success formula.